where product meets design is brought to you by Fuego UX, a leading UX research, strategy, and design consultancy. Hi, Shweta. Thank you so much for joining the show today.
Yeah, Alex, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah, of course. And to get started, can you tell us a little bit about your journey in product management?
Sure. So I started as a computer engineer, and I always enjoyed working with customers. In my earlier career, I worked with, data scientists, researchers, and customer collaboration. And that really got me intrigued. I was like, okay, we are trying to solve some problems that customers really need. And understanding those pain points led me to be into product management. So I have worked in different industries from health tech to, video platform, from large companies to small startup companies. That has really helped me understand it's not about what you're delivering as a product, but it's more about like, are you solving customer pain points, and asking the right question to get those strategy. And currently, I'm serving as a chief product officer at Boston New Technology, where we are working with dynamic teams to deliver innovation.
Nice. That's awesome. Thanks for that background. Are you ready to hop into the lightning round?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, sweet. So the first question I have for you is, what's a common myth about product management?
Yeah. So one common misconception that I see is if a product manager is working in one particular domain, they cannot switch to any other domain. What I mean by that is if there's a hardware product manager, people think like, well, I cannot be a software product manager or I cannot be an e-commerce product manager, but that's not the case. You have those skills and it can be transferred, right? Like effective communication, empathy for users. So anything is possible.
Totally agree. What's the most important lesson you've learned?
When we launch product, and the product is successful, the PMs cannot take all the credit. It's a teamwork. It's an entire team's effort. And if the product fails, it's product manager's responsibility. And it's about taking the ownership and, learning from the mistake and, just improving future outcomes.
What's one thing about product that nobody agrees with you about?
Hmm. That's a good question. There is a notion that the product managers has, to be an extrovert to succeed. To be honest, personally, I know many successful product managers, even CEOs, who are actually introverts. And the key is to be effective communicator within your team or to the customers, just express yourself and regardless of your personality type.
What are some underrated or indispensable tools for product management?
Actually, let me tell you about the tool that I really use, and I think it's going to be beneficial for any product manager. And I use a Pomodoro method, which is, for example, set a 25 minutes aside and focus on your work. As a product manager, I know there's a lot of context switching all the time, and you don't get time to focus on your PRDs or talking to the customers. But this tool really helps. This method, Pomodoro, really helps you to focus. There are tools like Flow or Tomatoes. People can use any tool that is suitable for them.
And then finally, what's one piece of advice you'd give to someone starting out in product?
Yeah, one advice I'd like to give aspiring product managers or people who are in their early careers to try and develop a strong product sense. And what I mean by that is constantly thinking how you can improve a product, right? So it can be, if people use like Discord and Telegram, or, if you go to the gym, like how you can improve the gym machine, right? Or the remote control you're using, or a pen on your desk, anything, pick one example and try to think like how I can improve that. I think that will really help product managers or people who want to become product managers to grow their critical thinking muscle early on, and that will help you to become a good or successful product manager.
Awesome. Well, cool. Thanks for going through the lightning round. I think one of the main things I wanted to chat with you about today is really mastering product management. I know you have some thoughts on that. A lot of people getting into product, and a lot of different methods and ways to approach it. But I'd love to hear you told me you have 5 key strategies for really driving success and mastering it, and I'd love to kind of learn about that.
Sure. Yeah, I would love to share 5 top things that I think in the strategies that any product manager can use, irrespective what industry and role they are in. So first is obsess with the problems and be flexible with the solutions. So as a product manager, it's crucial to obsess over understanding the core problems your user face, but you have to be flexible and adaptable on the solutions or the path to solve that problem. So for example, let's imagine, you're managing a fitness app, right? Where users frequently like abandon your workout plans, and you think like, oh, I need to work on my workout plans and add more features or something, but that might not be the core problem, right? The core problem is like, okay, there's a lack of motivation for them to go to the gym or use the workout plan. So thinking outside the box, thinking how I can think about the core pain points and then working towards solving that. I think that will help you to see that you don't have to modify your workout plans. It's just how you can think users and motivate them. The second one, the second strategy is launch fast and learn fast. So as a product manager, we think about like, oh, I need to have all the features ready, all the functionalities should be working before I launch the product. But trust me, like as a product manager, you just want to launch whatever that is. People might be aware of like something we call minimum viable product, which is MVP, where you have few functionalities once you launch it. But there's something a simpler version to that as well, which is called barely viable product, which is BVP. And it's nothing but it's super simple, super basic, where you might have Google Forms in the front end or spreadsheet in the back end, and just, launch it as like, just give it to your customers and get that feedback. What it does is like, you don't have to invest a lot of time and energy initially, but as a product manager, you will get the feedback and you can decide whether I want to build new product or do I want to pivot from my initial idea. And the third one is always have first-hand understanding of your users. As a product manager, like, sometimes we get information from like the customers and the marketing and the sales team, and we have features, right? So thinking about how you can talk to the customers one-on-one, right? It can be not like delegating the understanding of your users, and try to observe the users in the environment, which is called like ethnographic research. Like, for example, if your customers are trying to do self-checkout in a grocery store, they're trying to book a trip online, try to see the user workflows, and it will help you to understand their pain points. And not only that, it will help you to understand the user journey. And if you cannot do that, just like be part of the research session, which UI UX team has it, and you can see those non-verbal cues and emotional responses during that interactions.
Yep, agreed. Everyone needs to get closer to the user for sure.
Yeah, and the fourth one is avoid survivorship bias when looking at the data. So as you know, like as a product manager, you need to have data to launch a product, feature, or even interact with customers, right? Look for what the data is not telling you, and which is called survivorship bias. So there is a very classic example of survivorship bias, which is about identifying a fighter plane from World War II, and how the team analyzed, which planes came back, and how they can use the data. And I would highly suggest for people listening, to go and look, read more about the survivorship bias. But it's mainly about how the engineers or the team can look at the data, and it's very important to consider both seen and unseen data to get a complete and accurate picture. And this will help the product managers to see why the projects are successful, and the projects which are not successful, why the projects are not. So it will help them to give them like a 360 view.
Yeah, I love that example too. I know the one you're talking about with like the bullet holes and where they chose to reinforce the plane. Yeah.
And the fifth one that I really like is be the biggest cheerleader for your team and your product. Like as a product manager, directly or indirectly, you work with the teams who report to you or may not report to you. So whenever you deliver a product or launch a feature, I always encourage product managers to recognize the accomplishments of the team, to inspire your team. And it can be done super easily, right? If you have a team meeting, take the time to highlight each team member's contribution, publicly expressed appreciation for the hard work and dedication, right? And what happens is it cultivates a positive atmosphere where everyone feels like valued and included, motivated. And at the end of the day, trust me, it's a win-win for you and the product managers and product manager team.
Yeah, I love it. I love these steps to actually kind of like growing a product. I think they all make sense, and they can also, a lot of it can be applied to UX as well and design. So thanks so much for sharing those. Shweta, thank you for coming on the show. Where can people go to find more or follow what you're up to.
Yeah, people can find me on LinkedIn, Shweta Agrawal. I'm easy to find on LinkedIn. Send me a, connect or message, and I'm happy to hop on call, answer any questions, or help you, the folks in any way I can. Thank you so much for hosting and having me today. You're being a wonderful host, Alex.
For sure. Thank you.